Again to Daebak's Guide to the DGV Universe, Lakeside, Episode 4. My announcer voice, huh? All right, this hole, I throw a water skip accurate ride most of the time. You want to be safe, throw a 9-speed roll so it doesn't go so far. I'm aiming somewhere a little bit right of the hole and something like that, and kind of hoping it bends around and does something like that, but it goes in the hole. That's why I was saying you can throw the roll disc, because you don't. Yeah, it's not too much trouble, but you can go too far. Let's give her another whirl, see if we get anything better as far as a wind. All right, we got a big crosswind like this. I'll even go 10 speed. It's definitely a little trickier. Yeah, I cranked her too hard. Hit the rock. That's the I mean, I hit rethrow. So we'll see here if that cranks in there. It's not the easiest hole to ace, but it's not the hardest hole to ace. That's where you don't want to be. That's what I'm saying. If the wind bothers you, just go with a 9-speed roll disc and you'll be fine. I mean, acing guys is kind of an art form. You gotta, I don't know. You can do the same shot 100 times and it will act differently 97 of those times. Hole 2, slide right with a 1 wind. I will throw a lesser, like this is a windbreak. It's not a glide roller, and it won't go out of bounds. If I threw a real roller, oh, that's like the worst scenario. Safer option is same aim point, skip sapphire, and you might be behind the rock, but you're not going to have any funky rolls. So those are my two choices. You can go forehand. I don't do it often. Some people throw like skip discs and try to skip her on up there. I've never really messed with it too much. And being behind it, and that's probably why. You don't need a skip disc. Well, kind of a fun shot here. If I were playing the game, I'd forehand it. If I'm in a match and see if my forehand won't go around. Hey, yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a nice looking shot. What the bam? Huh. All right. Anyway, another basic hole. You're not gonna ace it without big risk. Hole 3. I'm not the best here. Gave me a calm win. 9-speed FD3. Middle chevron, somewhere up here, top of the tree-ish. I feel so much, guys. I do not. I'm like one of those guys that doesn't have exact aim points for a lot of things. And then you don't want to go full power. You go full power, you're in trouble. So, like, you go full power, give it a couple clicks up, and then that was not the best. Tough hole to ace. It happens. Not the toughest, but all right. So let's aim a little higher, because we were certainly out to the right. It ought to come in there a little nicer. Yeah, I mean, that's the idea, and there's your trouble. So that's why I said full power is an issue there. Give her a whirl. If you don't desire to do such a thing, and you don't want to give it an ace run, I use a Brave for my 7-speed, and I mean full power. You can't fuck it up. I mean, it's just going to be there. So there's your safest play. All right, hole 4, where wind makes a difference. And we'll see what the wind looks like. We got a big wind kind of pushing us away. I'm going to use Halo. This would be like a light glide ride for most of you. Middle chevron on the window of that boat. I'm going to go a little lower because of this wind and kind of give it a little bit more than a disc of I'm so bad with Heiser and Anheuser. That must have been Anheuser. I think of Anheuser, I think of beer. Anheuser-Busch. Just doesn't make sense to me. Uh, Wrong disc here, but I'm going to give it a whirl anyways. Yeah. We'll give it another whirl, see if we get another win. That's my basic line that I do on most, I would say 80%. If you got a 2-wind in your face, all right, this is close enough. Then I'm going to go light glide ride. The problem here, the reason I'm doing this is just to be fucking safe. And clear it. And you don't want to put too much angle on it because you'll hit the boat. I mean, those are my basic two choices. You can do lots of different things. I find those two to be the most risk averse. Hole 5. Now, most of you aren't going to be bagging this DD. You wish you would in a wind like this, because in a wind like this, most discs are going to bend way right. I go down a little. I kind of aim somewhere in there. Give it a... I didn't hardly put any twist on it. Probably should have put more. Yeah, I was trying to show the strength of my disc. That's not the best. Not bad. That was like an 80-foot throw-in. So I got this DD in this wind. See, it's a flippy-ass disc. If I go too much, I'm going to be safe. So we did it wrong, right? We did it wrong, left. Let's try to do it right. This is really certainly is a tough wind. So we'll try to go somewhere in there. And that should be about right on the hole. All right, there we go. That's... But that is having a disc that turns a lot. Most of you aren't going to have that. If you don't have that and you see that 3-wind laying up, might be a possibility. Now, if I get it the other way, all right, now I got something like this. Now I've got a disc that turns just a little bit, doesn't turn so much. And we're kind of making the same things we did last time. Here I'm too far this, but it's safe. That's so safe. Nice thing about this FD3 or DD3 Premier is it doesn't flip out too much. That's probably... Oh, is it going to hit land? Wow. Did not expect that. We had 2 3-winds. If you got a 3-wind in your face and you don't have a turn water skip, just don't do it. Give it another whirl. Give me a just nice easy win. Well, here you go. These are tough wins. This is why I like having this DDD. DD3 or DD, not a DD3. Oh, is it even gonna make? Ooh, ooh, ooh! Wow, wow. Okay, huh? I would have thought I made it. Guess I need to make sure that I'm gonna make it this time. Got to get right on. It'll make it now. Tough wins. It's showing us tough wins. Let's try it one more time. One more time and get a nice little easy wind. There are options. Okay, I'm a DD guy. Boom, boom, and I gotta go. Still turned out too much. So I prefer a turn water skip driver on this hole because right is inherently better than left. All right, blah, 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 blah. We got to go to hole 5. And we are on hole 5. We got to go to hole 6. Hole 6, I don't have the ideal discs for. I throw a glide core. I put the middle chevron right around the point of that sign. And then I kind of deal with the wind. And that's going to be a little bit right. Needed more tilt. Luckily, I can get in trouble, but a lot of what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get close. Now it'll be on the wrong side of it. Trying to get close without being in trouble. I can still see the hole from there. There's another option I have with a... such a weird game. That's probably in the hole, and it didn't follow the other deals. Yeah, hitting the cage is the worst thing you can do. Another option, which I used to do, was backhand 5-speed. And I think it's right about... can't remember exactly. Somewhere in there. You really got to go. That ain't right. Was that right? Not right. Must have been I need to be a chevron up. Boom. All right, let's go up. Boom. Is that better? Well, not really. I'm just trying to give you a guide of options. I guess I went too much. All right, so we go something like that. There you go. That's another option. But I found more trouble happened that way with the 6-speed kind of fading on in there. Usually I end up par free. 7, a hole I used to freaking own. All right, now this is the rare wind where I'm going to use a 6-speed, and I'm going to kind of go up in these trees, and I'm just going to kind of let her fade on down in there. All right, 3 wind. That's a rare wind, but if you got that kind of a wind, 6-speed gets you in there. Let's try again. Let's get a 1-winder or a 2-winder. Boom, ba-da-dum, 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 boom. Well, not ideal, but all right. Here's my 7-speed line. There's a little shadow, and I'm kind of going middle chevron that shadow, and because it's a 2, I didn't crank her enough. That is the idea. Acing it is something I used to do a lot more. Now it'll be the wrong side. Oh, there you go. So it's almost an ace. I used to freaking nail this hole. It's funny. The game kind of goes in waves. You feel like you just threw the same shot and you're, 10 feet on the other side of it. The game's really streaky. Yeah, I used to own this hole. Now it just hates me. Anyhow, slide a 7-speed, stickier roll. My advice. 8. This is where I like my core a lot. 2-wind. Okay, I'm weird. I put my middle chevron on the edge of the thing, and then I go up. And I kind of watch the arrow dance. Sometimes I like to have it on the 9. But it said, all right, so we got a 2-wind. I'm going to try to make a little smiley face with that 9. I don't know why. Seems like it likes it. And safe. I would have thought that would have been closer. All right. So I'll crank it out a little more. Yeah, you see how the game is, right? Hitting the cage is the bane, because you hit the cage and shit happens. Anyway, basic premise. You, as a player, have to practice this shit 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. And then it's like, try to remember, all right, tougher wind. Same thing, boom, boom. Going over a little bit. Maybe I want to go down because I've got that 3 wind, and I want to put, are you going to curl in there for me? And, all right, you get it. That's the idea. Easier in a 1-wind to kind of find your point. Definitely aceable, if not the most aceable hole on the course. Here, I throw a water skip roll gold. I go over here. I'm trying to beat the boat. If you're playing multiplayer with me, I often wait for the boat. And then, that was not ideal. 400's my benchmark here. 453, I'm not going to make it with a water skip sapphire. So I go up to a water skip gold. Into the wind's going to turn out a little bit. I do not need full power. Not an ideal shot at all. Oh. Great, going too fast. I said it was going to turn out, didn't I? So I guess I didn't need so much power. I think that was more I hit too much power. That was not a good one. Anyway, I go this way. Some people go for that middle island. Some people go for the right island. I find the left island is absolutely safe and a water skip approach is nice. Now we'll wait for the boat to go by. All right, we got a trickier wind. We got a 3 wind. You want to roller a sticky water skip because if you didn't, it'll go up into the trees on the left of that island. So, all right, that tree right there with our middle chevron, that's my 1 wind base. Okay, I'm a 3 wind. I can kind of go all the way over here. And that wasn't even enough. I could have gone further. It's tricky. If you land too close to the island, you get in trouble. So this is probably 430. There you go. So here I got the same thing. It's going to turn. I had to drive that with a 3 wind. Boom, boom. I find this simple, easy to get there. Let's see if we can't get a 1 wind and make this be the last. What do we got? 1 wind. Boom, boom. As I said, there's like my 1 wind base, okay? But I feel like I want to go further. So maybe I'm changing my base. Oh, that was way too wide. See how much trouble we get in now. It might double skip. Skip. One more time, skip. We're in trouble. Well, I didn't follow my own advice. I said that was where we needed to be. And I prefer to be right of this rock up here. Yeah, okay, I was fine. It's funny. I know and I don't know. Now here, I should be like 390. Okay, 404. Close enough for me to throw a water skip sapphire. This one I can go full power. And skippy-doo. If you want it, albatross it, you've got to throw a driver and skip right off the bank. Water skip bank up and in. Thanks for watching the guide to Lakeside.